Let me first of all express my gratitude to the Human Rights Council of the United Nations for having invited me to join you in this working group. I think it's a terribly important task you're having ahead, the discussion and elaboration of a declaration of the rights of peasants and other people working in the countryside. It is of great importance, I think, and it's an honor for me to be able to contribute a little bit to this. Now, in the days to come, you for sure have to discuss issues as the definition of the peasants. You have to discuss the nature and dynamics and the importance of peasant agriculture. You have to debate about many constraints peasants are facing. You have to talk about possibilities to go beyond these constraints. And these are questions that I've dealt with also a lot during my professional life, and I know it are very important questions. I've been working as an agronomist, as a technical engineer, an agricultural engineer, first in Europe, then in Latin America, then in Africa. I became a researcher studying agricultural systems all over the world. Then I became a professor here at Wageningen University. And I'm also, during the last years, adjunct professor at China Agricultural University in Beijing. Recently, IFAD, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, made an estimate of peasant reality in Africa and Asia. They argue that there are some 500 million peasant units in these continents, and this means that at least 2 billion, I should say, 2 billion people depend for their livelihoods on peasant agriculture. And equally important is that this peasant agriculture is producing 80% of all the food that is being consumed in Asia and Africa. So we are talking about important realities here. If you go to the global level, my guess is that we are having at least 600 million peasant units, and this relates to a peasant population, to peasant families that together account some 2.5 billion people. This is 1/3 of mankind, so we are not talking about small realities, about something of secondary level of importance, but about something that is crucial for mankind and for the future of our planet. Now, it's important to realize that the phenomenon of peasants and peasant agriculture is not limited to the global south only. It's omnipresent in Europe and America as well. In the United States, there are some 2 million small farms, according to the criteria elaborated by the US Department of Agriculture. And the Commission on Small Farms, operating on behalf of the Department of Agriculture, concluded that there is the necessity to recognize the crucial role, the cornerstone role of medium and small farms in the rural and agricultural economy. As far as Europe is concerned, we are having 12 million farms in Europe, and some 2/3 of these are having less than 5 hectares. Peasant agriculture is an important reality in Europe, and now even studies have been done on semi-subsistence in Europe. The peasant phenomenon, peasant agriculture, is definitely on the political agenda of Europe. Now, peasant life, wherever it is, peasant life is an uphill battle. Peasants are facing poverty and try to go beyond poverty. They are facing dependency and trying to go beyond it. Sometimes they see that their rights are violated, and they try to fight for their rights. But they are fighting in the meadows, in the fields, in the stables as well. They try to improve resources. They try to use these resources more efficiently in order to augment the production. They try to to fight for a better income, for market access, also in order to be able to invest in their children, they are struggling also for the future of their children. It's a difficult battle, but the important point is that the struggle for emancipation of peasants coincides, translates as the development of agriculture, and this has been documented in many studies. It is an important force that shapes our world. Now, it's far from simple, of course, peasant reality. Here is a scheme recently elaborated. It's about the income flows, the green arrows, in peasant agriculture, and it's about investment flows, the red arrows. And without going to the details, you immediately recognize that there is a multiplicity of investment flows, there is a multiplicity of income flows. Yeah, it's a complex and therefore also resilient unit of production. It does not depend just on one basket with some eggs, but there are different baskets. Peasant agriculture is resilient and can face many difficulties, many situations. I know very well that there have been many controversies about peasant agriculture. It has been argued that the peasantry is a hindrance to change, it's an obstacle for development. Others instead have been arguing that it's a main driver of development. I think it's time to go now beyond these controversies, especially since the world is facing the financial and economic crisis, especially since the world is having huge problems with climate change, with sustainability, and especially since we are facing the need to increase the production of food. In this situation, we need all that is available. It's important now to use the potential that is entailed in peasant agriculture. Peasant agriculture can contribute very much to the world, and it can do so in different ways. First, it can contribute strongly to food security at the level of the household, at the level of the locality, at the level of the region, at the level of the nation state. Secondly, it can contribute considerably to enlargement of internal markets and thus contribute to the process of economic development as a whole. Thirdly, it can generate, if conditions are provided, for a lot of employment and income. Fourthly, peasant agriculture can be very productive. China is a point in case. Chinese peasant families, there are more than 200 million of them. They are able to produce on only 10% of the totally available agricultural land worldwide. They are able to produce 20% of all food being produced in this world. So this clearly reflects the potential productivity of peasant agriculture. Peasant agriculture can be highly sustainable. Peasant agriculture can contribute to the emancipation of forgotten people, downtrodden people like the Quilombolus in Brazil, like the Libres in Colombia, and many other groups. It can help very much to defend and enlarge biodiversity, to fight climate change, and it can be very useful, peasant agriculture, to defend our cultural heritage. Now, I'm very aware that peasant agriculture is not the only form of agriculture. Yeah, it is existing alongside corporate agriculture and entrepreneurial agriculture. And although on paper it can easily be combined, in practice we all know that it very often is an unhappy marriage, the reality of peasant agriculture alongside large-scale farming. Yeah, it's not easy to find the required balance, which means that peasant agriculture can get marginalized, and that the potential it entails and that we need is not fully used. This is especially problematic since peasant agriculture represents continuity and is therefore very, very, very important for the issue of food security. Other forms of production might contribute as well, but intrinsically are less stable. They They may appear, they may develop, and they may disappear. For the continuity of food production, we really need also peasant agriculture. And for this, the recognition of rights is crucial in order to be able to assess the required balance between the different important forces we have worldwide. In a recent report of the high-level panel of experts of the Committee on World Food Security, Professor Swaminathan, the chair of this high-level panel of experts, wrote a beautiful introduction saying that we need worldwide a new deal for smallholder agriculture. We need a new deal for peasants. And an intrinsic part of this new deal is a recognition of rights. Without recognized rights, it's impossible for peasant agriculture to contribute in the way that is needed. So we need rights, and we need the right instruments, and we need the right policies, and together this can help to make peasant agriculture into that what the world needs, and it can make for justice for the many men and women that are trying to find a living in peasant agriculture. I thank you for your attention.